This is the brand new iPhone 17 Pro, and here's the first 4 hours with it. Hour 1, let's unbox it. Here I've got the 17 Pro in silver with 256GB of storage. It's great that it starts at 256GB of space, but it's bad that the price is now more expensive. Well, I guess technically the same since they're just cutting out the 128GB storage option. Now the first thing I always do when I get a new phone is to always put on the screen protector. And this is the ESR Ultra Fit MRI Pro Screen Protector. I always trust ESR when it comes to screen protectors because they have a perfect fit and an easy 2-step application. It's also made with glass from Corning, which makes the glass used on pretty much every single smartphone out there, and has 10 times the impact absorption and 2 times better scratch resistance with an anti-reflective coating and full screen protection from edge to edge. If you want to check out the ESR screen protector for yourself, check the link in the description. I've got my iPhone 16 Pro, so I'll be transferring data from that to here. Technically, I haven't used the 16 Pro as my daily phone in a while, but because I use Google for all my data, I'm not too worried about photos and contacts not getting transferred, so I'll just use my Google account to get it synced. Major tip if you're looking at switching to Android or vice versa. Using Google for everything makes the process of switching much more easier. Alright, we're in hour 2 right now. It's still transferring, so we're gonna let that do its thing. But I want to quickly talk about switching from Android to iPhone. Now for the last 6 months, I've been using Android phones day to day when I completely switched from my iPhone 16 Pro, simply because I found the cameras and the battery life to be superior on phones like the Xiaomi 15, the Vivo X200 Ultra, or the Oppo Find X8 Pro. And currently, I'm using the Google Pixel 10 Pro, which is a direct competitor to the iPhone 17 Pro, especially in price and capability, size, design, and the fact that they're both heavily marketed in the US market. So I'm curious to know if there's any benefit in switching to the 17 Pro. I honestly don't think I'll be using the iPhone 17 Pro as my main phone for more than maybe a couple months, but I'm excited to see what will happen. Now doing a quick comparison between the 16 Pro and 17 Pro, this is what they both look like. Now obviously the biggest change is the camera bump, but the cameras actually look about the same size. Maybe a little bit bigger on the 17 Pro, but they look to be about the same size. And one of the biggest changes in terms of the design is the materials used on the body. So on the 16 Pro, it was using titanium on the outside, which was their big headlining feature when it came out on the 15. And now it's aluminium unibody, which I guess is meant to be better in terms of thermals. What happened to that headlining feature? We have the camera button on the side, and those look pretty identical to each other. One thing that is pretty obvious is that the 17 Pro is a bit more comfier to hold since the edges are much more curved with that unibody. Now, putting away the 16 Pro and grabbing my current Pixel 10 Pro, here's a quick comparison. Now, some people might say that the camera bump is similar to the Pixel. Well, actually, no, they look pretty different. In my opinion, I think the Pixel still looks a bit more cleaner, but other than that, I mean, they are quite similar sized phones, but the same thickness as well. You have these nice shiny rails on the Pixel, but matte aluminium on the iPhone. Okay, so now we have gotten into the iPhone 17 Pro. Alright, so it's 18 plus 8, it's hour 3 now. I'm going to continue to set up the phone and make sure everything's all logged in and signed in. And then after that, I'm going to take it out and take a few shots. It's nighttime, but we're going to see what this phone can do. Now with the new selfie camera, the center stage can move around, follows me around. Wow, it can really go pretty far.
That's actually kind of crazy that it does that.
Yeah. Alright, hour 4. I'm going to test out Genshin Impact to see how the performance fares up in gaming. Then we're going to go outside, take a few photos, going to compare it with my Pixel 10 Pro, kind of see what the quick comparison is like between the cameras. And then we'll wrap up my final thoughts. Alright, so we've got the graphics set to high, and I'm going to push it up to 120 FPS just for fun, and overclock warning, but this should be able to handle it. Genshin Impact 120 FPS mode seems to be pretty smooth, and of course it's got that new vapor chamber, so heat dissipation should be better, but we're going to be testing it out later on. Alright, so now it's time to test out the cameras outside. We're going to go outside with both the Pixel 10 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro. But before we do that, we need to make sure that our iPhone is protected, which is where ESR also comes in again. Now this is the hybrid case from ESR. It's the same one that I've been using on iPhone 16 Pro. Now I've been using the ESR hybrid case for some pretty good reasons. It's super protective with military grade protection up to 11-foot drops, and it's also super practical with 3 special features that I really like about this case. First is a camera control cover, which gives full functionality while protecting the camera control button. 2, it has a stash stand, which is a built-in kickstand, allowing you to be able to watch movies and content on your phone wherever you go. And lastly, it has super strong MagSafe compatibility with 25% stronger magnets than most other cases. So if you want to check out ESR for yourself, check the link in the description once again. Now, let's take a few photos. Alright, so let's start off with taking some video, shooting a 4K 30, and this is what it kind of looks like. This is what you're going to expect from the iPhone 17 Pro's video quality. And for context, this is what it looks like on the Google Pixel 10 Pro, the video being shot at 4K 30. Okay, so I've taken a bunch of photos on basically all the cameras. So taking a look at the cameras, both phones are running pretty much exactly the same camera setups. So the 17 Pro is equipped with triple 48 megapixel sensors, and the Pixel 10 Pro is equipped with 2 48 megapixel sensors plus a 50 megapixel main camera. So basically about the same resolution across the board. What is different though is that the iPhone 17 Pro is rocking a 4x optical zoom, whereas the Pixel 10 Pro has a 5x optical zoom, so a little bit different. So I've taken a few photos on both phones using the night modes, and honestly the results are pretty similar. I mean, the Pixel 10 Pro seems to be a bit more brighter in some areas, but also noisier. The 7 Pro seems to be a bit more sharper, but also a little bit darker sometimes, but then when it comes to the zoom, the Pixel does seem to have the slight edge, but it's a bit hard to say. Obviously, I'm going to be testing this out properly in a more brighter scenario. This is not really a great test, and I'm definitely going to be making a head-to-head comparison video. I'm going to be putting these two phones through my day in the life test, so make sure you subscribe to that. But anyways, it's literally 2 degrees out here, so let's go back inside. Alright, so we've basically reached the end of the 4th hour. And honestly, this phone is nice, but there's obviously a lot of things to try out and to test fully. So I'm just gonna leave my full thoughts in the actual day in the life review video. We're actually gonna be switching from the Pixel 10 Pro, which is my daily phone that I've been using for the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna be putting that SIM card into here. I'm gonna be daily driving this phone to see if the 17 Pro is really worth it. Anyways, I'm Upwards. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video.